There in the corner.
Now it is. There we are, geeks assembled, and we have gathered here today. And it's another Christmas cast, since it is December, the month of Christmas. And we are going to be talking about Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. Let's start off with Craig, since he's showing his lovely tree off. What do you make of this, Craig? Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy Mr. Bean? Does he remind you of somebody in this cast?
Who?
Carry on, Craig.
Well,
I said leave it.
Thing with Mr. Bean is, right, at the beginning, he's not an alien because the aliens have abducted him and then they kick him out of the spaceship, right? Because they can't deal with him.
No, they explain that in the animated series.
Oh, I hate that. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, I think is one of the funniest Mr. Beans, because I nearly wet myself laughing during this one. And a few key things for me is when he tried to nick the town's Christmas tree, and the turkey scene. I mean, it was just too much. And I was pissing myself laughing, and that's my opening thoughts.
Well, talking about somebody who pisses themselves, but not usually, when laughing. Let's go over to Lee.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Alid. But I hope you just get credits for the music in the background there, Craig. Yeah, it's Rowan Atkinson. I mean, it just proves that you can have comedy with not much verbal action. It's all it's there, visual, and to put it at Christmas as well. I mean, I agree. He's a weird character, as Mr. Bean. He's a phenomenon. He's a phenomenon because everybody seems to love Mr. Bean, and I don't know why. We've got our own Mr. Bean in the cast, and you'll soon find out which one it is when he starts talking. But it is. There's so many things in this. You've got as you say, the tree. You've got the little major scene with the soldiers and the sheep and the Dalek. But you do feel sorry for him in the end. He seems to be a sad case. He's always on his own. He always ends up on his own. But on the way through that, there's always a lot of humour. And I think Rowan Atkinson is a very underrated comedian. He's not often on TV much these days. Which is a shame, because when he's on there, you just can't take your eyes off him. His facial features, it's amazing. Yeah, it's a very good episode, this, and it is festive as well. And I do feel sorry for his girlfriend as well in this episode, but we'll get onto that later on, I suppose. Yeah, good episode.
And let's go to Germany with Beef Dad, actually. What did you make of this, Beef Dad? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I loved it. I remember seeing it when it was first aired. The scene that always amused me was with him playing with the nativity scene. That was just so funny. That was just so funny, so clever. But the wonderful thing about him is he can be funny without dialogue, and that's not something you see very often these days, which is one of the reasons why he's so very popular all around the world, because it's visual humour. You don't need to be able to understand English to understand the humour. They love him in Germany. Mr. Bean is very popular in Germany. But yeah. Yeah, Matilda Ziegler, that plays his girlfriend Irma, she's just brilliant. She really is just brilliant, and it's It's one of those comedy programs that there's never really been anything like him before, and I don't think there ever will be again. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not. But no, he is brilliant. He's brilliant. He's brilliantly funny. He's very clever. Of course, he's one of the writers of it as well. Yeah, him, Richard Curtis, who also worked on Blackadder. In fact, he hummed part of the Blackadder tune while he was playing with the nativity scene, and he was humming the theme. And yeah, the lights when it's obvious that it's Harrods that he's in, because you could see the front of the building and all the lights on. And he grabs a set of lights, wants to plug them in, try them on, goes behind this door, pulls the plug out, all the lights of the fascia of the building go out. He tries his lights, they work, and then he replugs the lights back and all the lights go on the front of the building again. I mean, that is pure Mr. Bean. That is pure Mr. Bean. It's just absolutely brilliant.
And let's go to Wales now. Let's go to Stephen Price. What did you make of this, Stephen Price? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, it's one of my favourite Mr. Bean episodes. I like the part where he goes into Harrods and he starts playing, messing around with the toys and the Dalek and the dinosaur and all that. That made me laugh. And the part where he tries the lights and the lights go out. The one I've made is the turkey on his head. That really made me laugh.
And let's go to Brian. Brian, what did you make of it? Was it weird?
So weird? No way.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised it wasn't weird for you. Usually you think things are weird.
Mr. Bean. I love Mr. Bean. I absolutely love it. I love the show, of the character, everything. It just, me personally, I was introduced to Mr. Bean by one of my family members, which was my grandfather, a long time ago, and he got me into Mr. Bean, and ever since then I've enjoyed Mr. Bean. I love it so much. Every single episode I've seen, with all three volumes of the DVD sets that I have the animated series, and then I have the second movie. I didn't want to get the first movie because it wasn't really that great. But all that aside, I absolutely love Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean's Christmas is absolutely one of the best episodes of Mr. Bean. I enjoy every minute of it. Everything about this episode is absolutely funny as hell. With turkey scene, the light bulbs, the ornaments, and a cameo of a Dalek toy. Maybe Doctor Who could fit in at some point on in the future with Mr. Bean. But no, I mean, Mr. Bean is just absolutely fun and funny. It just all at the same time. I enjoy it. I wish Rowan Atkinson would come back as Mr. Bean at some point in the future, or sometime like now or something like that. Because
he already did.
I know he did. He made a reunion appearance, but I love him as that part. Mr. Bean is great. I love
Did
it.
you see him in the advert last year?
I did not. I didn't get the chance to see it, but but whatever he's playing Mr. Bean, I enjoy and love.
And of course, Mr. Bean was technically Doctor Who. Not just the 11th Doctor, but Rowan Atkinson was the Doctor.
I know that was he was a version of Doctor Who, which doesn't really count, or it's not connected to the series. But
Of course it's canon. It's all canon.
it's not.
Of course
It's
it's canon.
not.
All different dimensions and universes and everything.
No, it's not.
It's canon.
Alid,
Can't mention
can I just
canon,
say
sorry.
Can I just say one word? Canon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just got
Well,
it off my chest.
Yeah, wasn't Rowan Atkinson playing Mr. Bean in the London Olympics? Didn't he play?
Yeah, he played in the London Olympics, yeah, but last year he did an advert for BA or something where he did a flight safety video.
Yeah, he did. He actually did the flight safety video. He didn't
Yeah.
do the advert. He did the
Flight safety
onboard,
video.
safety video.
Yeah, so what do you and Alex think of Mr. Bean, Susan, this episode?
I like it. I like it a lot. I think that Mr. Bean is hilarious. I think that it whereas there was little, if any, slapstick in certain things that are more intellectual that I've seen in the past week. This is all slapstick humor. It's nothing but slapstick humor. It's all physical comedy, and it's great. I love his stumbling, bumbling oopses. I think that he's got an amazing sense of chaos, and he creates a zone of destruction around him, including his turkey, and then the fact that he and his girlfriend ended up having sandwiches and stuff, and I mean, what a trip.
Okay. Well, actually, my family likes Mr. Bean. I don't. I actually like the other shows that he's in, The Thin Blue Line and Blackadder and all that. And of course, I wonder if there's any people that have only watched Mr. Bean and have no idea what his actual voice sounds like. But there was some funny scenes, especially with the head in the turkey and vice versa. And it was funny with the carolers. And it was funny that he misunderstood his girlfriend and what she wanted. She didn't want the spoiler. She didn't want the picture. She wanted the ring. And he misunderstood that. And it was funny about the toy Dalek in the nativity scene. But yeah, Mr. Bean usually does not appeal to me. And there has been other slapstick in the universe, but his is the most intellectual. I mean, you have Chaplin, and you have Lloyd, and you have the Three Stooges, and you even have Harpo from the Marx Brothers. But and you have the three, again, the Three Stooges or the Eight Stooges, whoever was playing it in whatever year it was. But yeah, I like Rowan Atkinson's other creations better. But he's a very funny guy. As far as I know, he's a very nice guy. And he is an intellectual. But he doesn't advertise it, which is kind of unusual.
I have to say, the thing about Mr. Bean is actually because there's no dialogue, anybody can find it funny from any country. Like Beef Dad says, it's very popular in Germany.
And in France.
And in fact, it's very popular all over the world. And because there's no dialogue, it doesn't really date. It doesn't date, really, because it's all about slapstick and visual humor. And that's always funny. And the Carol Singers is one of my favorite scenes, where he sits there and he gets the box of sweets and that, and he's just putting his feet up. And then they're still singing, coming towards the end of the song. He walks to the door, and you think, oh, he's going to give the kids a sweetie. What does he do? Just slams the door shut on them. I found that hilarious. And the tree scene, like Craig said. But I think the funniest is what Alex mentioned, where his girlfriend wants the wedding ring and she finds out he's got the picture. And at the end, they're sitting on the bed, she's crying. He gets out this little red little box, which you think there'd be a ring in. And what is it? The hook, the picture hook. that is just so funny. It really is. No, this is a brilliant episode. There's a few other great ones, which is the swimming one. Also the one when he goes to the beach and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a brilliant episode.
I just want to add that there is a...
99. And it can be told
What is that?
99 in store 3rd of December.
I don't know, something's in store, $9.99, is it? Oh, great, what is it?
Craig, is that you? Anyway, I just wanted to say that there is apart from the series and animated series and the movies, there is
I don't watch the animated stuff. It's not Mr. Bean, though.
There is an hour-long special called The Best of Mr. Bean, but it essentially, even though it's like mostly the best bits of like each episode that has been a Mr. Bean, it's like an episode within those little bits. Because they have him like stuck in an attic, looking around within his attic and everything.
I do like when he's got the turkey on his head, and the girlfriend comes in, and she says, "Have you got the turkey on?" That line makes me laugh.
Essentially, he does because it's not stuck on his head.
Yeah, that's comedy. That's comedy, Brian. But that turkey scene was stolen by the Friends TV show.
Wait, is it? I don't know. I don't have any.
But Mr. Bean did it better.
Yeah. I like it when Mr. Bean goes to the restaurant and he doesn't like that food. and
is that the one with the tartar, the raw meat? Yeah.
I love that one.
There's loads of episodes that are with Mr. Bean that are hilarious and just absolutely good. The only thing that's not good is the first movie. They steal every single little bit that was in the TV series and put it in the movie, which was stupid.
Well, I mean, again, nothing's perfect either, and that probably had different producers, and it's probably, for a different audience too.
I mean, also as well, Beef Dad might be able to say yes or no on this, but I think the character Mr. Bean was really influenced by the French comedian actor Jacques Tati, who did exactly what Rowan Atkinson does as Mr. Bean. So he was influenced by that comedian. If you ever get a chance to watch a Jacques Tati movie, it's very, very similar to what Rowan Atkinson does as Mr. Bean. But as I said to Alid earlier, wouldn't you think the size of that turkey, which he won by cheating,
fair and square.
Standing on the scales, but don't you think he'd have got that in the oven the day before Christmas Day? The size of that?
Yeah, but anyway, this is Mr. Bean. I mean, was the oven even big enough for that?
But the sad thing, what really made me feel sad for the character Mr. Bean, and he says it all, is he writes Christmas cards out, he goes out and he posts them to himself.
Well, you can relate to that.
Yes, I know. Yeah. So
the thing is, they're not different. They're all the same. He's lining them up, and they're all the same ones.
It's a very sad character, but funny at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
We have a great gift. We have a great gift, which is called laughing at others. Really, haven't we? Laughing at others is a great gift. What was you going to say, Brian?
I was just going to agree with Lee, which I don't really...
Don't start doing that, please. You're only encouraging.
I don't really quite often do. But no, I was just gonna say, thinking back on it with Mr. Bean, Lee is like he's a very sad, lonely character because he doesn't have any friends that he hangs out with other than his girlfriend
Well, he has a teddy.
most of the time, and his teddy bear. So it's essentially a sad, lonely thought of like this character that is on his own and he doesn't hang out with anybody except his teddy bear and his girlfriend every now and then.
But a lot of the best comedies have an element of sadness in them. Was you going to say something, Beef Dad?
Yes, I was. Yeah, because I first saw Rowan Atkinson in, what was it, 1979 in The Secret Policeman's Ball. And he was just absolutely brilliant in that. And I remember one part where he was playing a teacher. And he was calling out the register. And it was just so funny and so clever. But yeah, he's been around a long time and he's done great many things. Won an awful lot of awards.
Blackadder.
And he's won BAFTAs. Yes, he's done musical theatre.
Yep.
Yeah, because he played Fagin in Oliver on the West End stage. And yeah, he's won an Olivier Award for his theatre work.
And he played Johnny English.
Yeah, and he's done film as Johnny English and Mr. Bean.
And he also was in Scooby-Doo, the first movie.
I don't think he wants to remember that though, Brian.
He was the villain of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
In the first movie, rather.
He became famous. I don't know if anybody would remember this TV series, Not the 9 o'clock News.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Did he have a falling out over his brother with Mr. Bean, didn't he? Some sort of legal... Didn't his brother say he created Mr. Bean and Atkinson stole it?
Is it true he's got like a speech impediment?
Yes, he has a stutter. He's got a stutter.
Mm.
Well, and I just also want to add, if it's okay with you guys.
No.
Well, let's think about it. No.
But the scene like where it's Christmas morning and he wakes up.
Mm.
And he when he wakes up, is excited, comes out of the bed and dances around a little bit. That kind of reminded me of me.
Oh my God!
Can anybody guess which Mr. Bean is in our group?
You only get one guess.
It kind of it kind of reminded me of me Christmas morning when I wake up during Christmas.
And then you go and stick a turkey on your head.
No, I don't go that far.
Oh. Well, you can always. There's always this year, isn't there?
Are we going to review Happy New Year, Mr. Bean, as well?
No.
We should. I mean, it's New Year. It's a New Year episode, and that one is funny.
That's the one where he decorates the house.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I did feel sorry for the mouse Christmas morning, though.
Why?
Why? Piece of cheese on a mouse trap.
But I'll let you think about it, Brian.
It's a mouse. It's a disgusting thing.
People do have mice as pets.
The mouse thinks highly of you too.
The mouse isn't a pet.
You can have mice as pets.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can, Brian.
I never heard of that.
Well,
you can have rats also.
Yeah, you can have rats as pets.
I'll have no choice.
Ask Walt Disney what he thinks about mice, Brian.
I find pets.
Once you get them out the freezer.
I thought pets are only like dogs and cats and everything.
Dogs and cats and everything.
Yes.
Let's go back to Mr. Bean in this episode. Does anybody else have anything
Cats
to
and
add
rats
on?
and elephants as sure as you're born.
Yep.
Really? You could have an elephant for a pet? Cool.
Yes, well, you've got to house train it first.
Oh dear.
But I did like the little scene with the Salvation Army conductor
Yes, that was good.
in his car, trying on that little pearl necklace.
Does anybody else have anything to add on Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean? If not, we shall wrap it up.
I could do an impression of Mr. Bean.
Well, I thought you were already doing it.
No, I could do the voice of Mr. Bean.
Oh, go on then. Well, he doesn't speak.
Oh, look at the Mr. Spider. Oh, Christmas socks.
Sounds like Yoda.
He sounds like who? That was
Yoda.
Oh, Yoda. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But you've got the green to match.
That's the bad. Oh.
What's a Yota?
Oh, where will of horse?
Watch Yoda.
Where of horse? Oh. Yes.
Did he just ask what's Yoda?
Yes, he did. Oh dear. So if nobody else has anything to add, that's actually useful information.
Oh my gosh, you guys are trying to.
What about
It's hilarious.
Eh?
What about the rating?
Oh, the rating, of course. Glad someone's paid attention. So we'll go to Stephen Price first for his final say.
What about the ratings?
Absolutely loved it. Funny all the way through. 10 out of 10.
And we'll go to Brian.
Oh, okay. It's me next.
Keep it short, won't you?
Okay.
I don't want to miss Christmas dinner.
Okay, then I'll have you wait then. I'm just kidding. I would rate this episode a 10 out of 10. I would rate Mr. Bean a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, baby. Mr. Bean is awesome.
Well, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it and you didn't like Mr. Bean. Let's go to Beef Dad.
Hello. 10.
There we go. That was quick and short. And let's go to Alex and Susan. Alex, you're going to let us down, aren't you? I can see it in his eyes. He's going to let us down.
The thing of it is you guys trying to outbean each other was about the funniest thing ever. I think you guys are amazing and really funny. And I guess really a lot like Mr. Bean, and I'm proud of you. Anyway, I'll give you all a 10 out of 10 tiny Daleks with a tiny Jesus and a helicopter to carry you away.
And make sure Alex gives the same. Don't let him get away with lower than a 10, Susan.
Yeah. Well, this was funny for all the tropes and all the funny habits that it was making fun of. I'd have to give it at least 6 turkeys on the head.
That's fine.
Yeah, 6. Yeah, so 6. I mean, it actually was funny.
It's a lot of turkey.
But the funny thing is, they
and a lot of heads.
Yeah, they cut that out of a lot of them. Actually, they cut out the turkey scene. They cut out the scene where he wins it. So I guess I don't know why, but it seems like some versions they edit out a lot of the.
Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what do you mean they edit out?
Yeah, they edit out the turkey sequences.
Where?
Wait, in what version?
Yeah, no, some versions they edit it out. It's
some versions. I thought you meant like on YouTube or something.
No, it's the vegetarian version.
I know.
Are you joking?
Like I said, unless someone's having a joke on Wikipedia, that's what it says. But maybe they're having a joke. Maybe they're trying to do their own version of slapstick. I don't know. but it was funny, and he is a very funny guy. I don't like the character, but I know the rest of my family does. I love the slapstick.
What do you mean you don't like the character?
So the rest of your family would give it a 10?
They'd probably give it an 8.
An 8? So how many's in your family? We can up the score on this, eh? Let's go to Lee in Hull. What did you final say and score, Lee? In your own time.
Well,
I like your Christmas jumper, by the way. It's very festive.
I enjoy Mr. Bean. You know, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to score these because there's so many different things going on in each episode. I don't want to follow suit. I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, I think my dad's got that jumper.
Has he? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. He's a very fashionable man. Yeah.
Oh, good. So am
I
I.
say lying through my teeth. Let's go to Craig. He's got a very big smile on his face, and I don't trust him.
Yes.
Do you
Sorry.
know what's going on, Craig? Do you know
just
where
a
you
bit
are? Do you know what this
hyperactive
cast
today.
is about?
I'm going to give this 10 Father Christmases out of 10 TARDISes. And I
Okay.
like your haircut, Lee.
Leave him alone.
What was that? I missed that.
Do you know what? Honestly, if Lee sticks his hair up, he could look like Kim Jong-un.
I said I like your haircut,
None
Lee.
of that, Alan. You turkey.
What hair? There is no hair. There's no hair there to go. He's bald now.
What do you mean he's bald?
There's no hair there. I think that's like a toupee or something.
Anyway, what do I think of Mr. Bean? I think it's great. I love this episode. It's funny. All of Mr. Bean's funny. The movies aren't as funny, but I think they're still enjoyable. But this, we are talking about Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. And I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it a 10 because it's throughout. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of laughs. It's not offensive. It's not nasty. And it's just good humour.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it? It's just good humour. That's what it is. And it's humour anybody can enjoy, really.
It's a family program.
Yeah, anybody, you can sit down with any age and any age, whether you understand English or not. You can sit down and you can enjoy it. And that's a great comedy. And, when I go abroad, it's always on. It's always on in a hotel. It's always on the plane, wherever. You can always find Mr. Bean wherever you go. So I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes, to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on everything. Just not in the street, not anymore. Thank you. And yes, have a good night. Look after yourself, and we will see you next time.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean.
What?